If you can ground the real elements of this as much as possible, then it gives credibility to the supernatural, you know, the sci-fi elements. So if I can make all the makeups look as real as possible, and even the creature effects look as real as possible, then hopefully the audience goes, okay, that's what it would be like if Marines met aliens in a one-to-one combat situation.
Actors and blue screen is difficult because what I've found in my limited experience before this movie was you usually need to push an actor far to get a reaction that's believable, because ultimately you're always disappointed when you see the creature or the alien or whatever it is in CGI, and then you cut to the reaction and you're like, oh, it wasn't enough.
I think that's one of the hardest things to do, is react to something that's not there.
It really makes you pull out your acting chops, because the truth of the matter is, you know, you're running from something that's not there. You're not really in any danger. You're not about to die, but you have to make the people watching believe that you really thought that you were about to die.
You have to imagine it is on set with you, and you have to personalize it in whatever way you can. I mean, if it's a physical force, if it's another country's army, if it's us in Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever it is.
Jonathan has been really clear about the actions and what's happening.
Aliens are firing.
We've seen some concepts for the enemy that we're facing, and it's a freaky looking thing. So yes, it does help imagining. Well, it helps not knowing completely what they look like, because we don't know what they look like, but also knowing that it's a scary thing. It helps you portray that on screen, because it's some scary looking stuff.
We're facing an unknown enemy. We don't know how strong their force is or what they're capable of.
It'd be nice if those unknown forces kind of appeared so you can talk to them and have these scenes with them. There's all these things flying over our heads and all these different, you know, meteors that are flying all around. But no, there's nothing there. So you kind of have to have an imagination. You got to be creative and kind of see it even though it's not there.
We've learned a few tactics to get over that barrier of having to use just your imagination. Because when you do that and you don't have direction, you end up looking in opposite directions for that thing that you're supposed to be completely horrified of. Firing!
You're a little bit of a disadvantage, and I think the only way that you can combat that is to always ask Jonathan, what's going on? What's going on? Where are they? What are they doing? What's the sound like?
We've incorporated a few things to sort of help. One, Jonathan is constantly walking everybody through what they should be seeing, what they're hearing. We'll make noises to get reactions. Sometimes they'll know they're coming, sometimes they won't, whether it's gunfire or banging on things.
The use of martyrs and explosions and, you know, noises and specific direction from Jonathan has helped us out a lot with that.
What I try and do as much as possible is give the actors sounds or things, props that'll be there in CGI as much as possible.
BJ, you see that popper over there? He's gonna be shooting at it, it explodes.
We have reference aliens that are in stop-motion outfits that have reference points.
We'll have alien cutouts so they see what they're reacting to. Try and give them as much as possible to react to.
When we do have a scene or a sequence involving the aliens, they have at least put up poster mock-ups.
And then we have a puppet version that walks around and stands like 7.5 feet tall.
Actors are so inventive and creative, and they'll think of things to do with things you put in front of them. So you try and provide as much as possible to an actor while you're shooting on a blue screen.
The unfortunate thing about working this way is that you don't know the eventual capabilities of your foe. I don't know what Jonathan's gonna do with the aliens. I don't know what the special effects guys are gonna come up with.
Lieutenant, 10 o'clock!
Guys, see it, 8 o'clock!
And we also have special effects supervisors on set who are terrific, constantly monitoring to make sure that not only Jonathan is getting the staging and the performances that he needs, but that they also have the opportunity to make sure that the aliens they're ultimately going to drop in look as great as possible.
I took all the storyboards and all the previs, and I sat down with the director, and we came up with a game plan for each scene. So I'm here to remind the director about what we talked about early on.
3, 2, 1, go.
Making sure that there's enough light or not too much smoke.
And we're trying to not have too much smoke. That's my role in the movie, is to make sure the smoke is under control.
He wants to put smoke in all the shots. It's a very smoky, almost like Baghdad war environment.
Can't see shit.
Because smoke causes problems with visual effects, I'll remind Jonathan that, look, don't put smoke in front of the lens here, put it in the background, because we have to put aliens in here. And I can always add smoke in the foreground, but I can't always, put an alien through smoke that already is there in the shot.
Right now, not enough smoke. That's what I can tell you from my vast experience in movies. Look at that, no smoke.
So I'm there to sort of like politely remind him, I know it looks a little weird now, but listen to me, and it'll look great when we get to post, trust me.
They're just constantly monitoring the elements that we're choosing to inject into every scene to make sure that ultimately when they fill it with aliens, UFOs, explosions, they'll look as great as possible.
The style of this film is very documentary, and the handheld zooms are very complicated in the CG world. 5 years ago, we could not have done this film.
The first thing we built was a lighting reference for Everett and his visual effects team, which they bring out the silver and gray balls and get all their references. They bring this thing out, which is 7 feet tall, photograph it in the lighting scenario so that the visual effects houses can reference that.
The visual effects houses, they need to know where the aliens are coming from as well. So it helps for the eye line of the actor.
That's your eye line.
But it also helps for the visual effects house to understand where these aliens are coming from, how close or how far away they are.
And it's slowly falling down. The biggest challenge is how to mimic the camera move in 3D so the aliens can look like they're actually there.
And now go back to the three-quarter angle, and we'll have all the plates covered for dead people on the street.
The advancements in technology for camera tracking have become so good lately that we're able to track a lot of these shots and really integrate our aliens into the footage that's shot. But it's very complicated, especially the very erratic, sort of a cinema verite style that Jonathan has chosen for this film.
I just can't wait to see till it's all put together, till that green screen is replaced with actual imagery of amazing ships that come together.
Jonathan's had such an excellent relationship with the visual effects team that he's working with, and we have such great companies working with us that he has a lot of faith in what they're going to be able to do.
I grew up on science fiction and horror all my life, and this is a dream come true. I get to blow up Los Angeles with lots of cool aliens.